Welcome to the We'll Throw the After Party Oscar recap episode. Marissa, it's been so hard not talking to you for 2 days to save all of our thoughts for this moment.
I know. I was spamming you with my thoughts throughout the night, and then I was like, wait, this is gold. I should be saving this.
We should be saving it for the moment. I know. It's like reacting in the moment versus having some time to analyze and think it through. We saved all those thoughts to record them and share them with all of you. So sit back for the next half an hour. We're going to recap all of our favorite moments, the speeches, the red carpet in some quick hit lists, not rankings, just lists of what really stood out to us, because obviously there were so many incredible moments. It's hard to talk about every single one of them. So we'll just hone in on some of our faves. Marissa, what was your take on this Oscars at a high level? Because this year had so many new and returning twists and turns, and some things really worked and some things really didn't.
Yeah. Overall, I would say it was pretty solid. Not my favorite award ceremony I've ever seen. Definitely not the worst. I also, frankly, liked it being at 6 o'clock in Central Time. It started at 6 p.m. It was over before 10 o'clock. I was bundled up in bed, ready to sleep. It was great.
It started at 8 p.m. for me instead of the usual 9 p.m. Usually the Oscars doesn't end until close to about 1:30 in the morning for me. So it was a treat to have it be over by 12:30. That was like, wow, big deal. And then, of course, you go straight into the Vanity Fair after party red carpet special on YouTube. So I stay up until probably 3 or so watching some of those arrivals. But then I was like, you know what? The rest will happen on the pod. So I'm glad we're here. You're going to give us some of the highlights from the Vanity Fair red carpet, which I have not seen a lot of. So I'm excited to see your takes on this. And I'm going to talk everyone through the red carpet before the Oscars started. Why don't we start there with some of the fashion? Because I feel like that is the thing that when you think about the Oscars, you think about what are people going to be wearing and how will it inform the next year of fashion. We have some images. So why don't I go through the 5 that really stood out to me? Starting with, to me, one of the most iconic Oscar looks of all time. Da'Vine Joy Randolph, absolutely breathtaking in this Louis Vuitton styled by Wayman and Mika. Absolutely unbeatable. It looked so fantastic on stage when she accepted her award. It was giving Cinderella. It was giving I am the belle of the ball and this is my moment. It was giving I deserve the spotlight. My breath was taken away when I saw this.
So glam. I have loved her in blonde too. As the award season has gone on, she's been wearing more blonde, and it's a full glam movie star moment. I love it so much.
The photo of her in Paris in the rain.
Yes. So good.
I want it on my wall. To me, that was we have not seen someone capture Hollywood movie star glam in so long. It's been so long since we've had a moment like that. And it was just take my breath away, Da'Vine Joy Randolph. Next level of stardom unlocked. Okay, the next look that stood out to me, Coleman Domingo. Incredible.
Hasn't missed,
continues not to miss, will not miss, refuses to miss. This is a Louis Vuitton piece with David Yurman jewelry and an Omega watch. Key in on the cowboy boots at the bottom of your screen as well for the Western flair. This is styled by Wayman and Mika as well. So same stylist between Coleman and Da'Vine, which, I mean, that really tells you something if 2 of the best looks of the night were by the same team. And here's one of my favorite facts about this look. The ring that he's wearing belonged to Bayard Rustin, who he portrays in the movie Rustin. And this was gifted to him by Rustin's partner, Walter, to Coleman Domingo.
I love that.
Isn't that so special?
I love that. That's awesome. I didn't know that.
I love the parallels between this story and then Da'Vine wearing her grandmother's glasses in The Holdovers, having those personal touches come into these looks and these incredible performances. I think it's just so take my breath away, inspiring. And it really reminds me that this strategy that goes into a red carpet look for the Oscars, and the tie of what you wear in your performance versus what you're wearing to represent the movie and campaign for the movie. It's a strategy that is year round and takes so many hours and so many people and so much mastery of your craft to do as well as they do it. So round of applause from me to these looks. I think they were just like Oscar history worthy outfits. Speaking of, I know this is one of the looks that's on your radar, America Ferrera in Versace, of course. I have a question for you. When you saw this look, did you think Versace right away?
Yeah.
As soon as we saw her, I was like, oh, that is Versace without a doubt.
Yeah.
So
it's become like a iconic silhouette over the last few years. The structured, like, sort of corset top, I love it. Anyone that does it, I love it every time. And this is maybe one of my favorites of this style. It's so good.
It looks like it's melted onto her body. It's so beautiful. And this is a dress that took 400 hours of work to put together. With the stylist Carla Welch, who is iconic, incredible, has dressed everyone who is everyone.
It also is such a commitment to wear this to an award ceremony where you know you will be sitting the whole time, because there is no way that your torso is bending in that. No. That is like true posture commitment.
I do love how controversial it was that Margot Robbie did not wear pink, because I think that's like the story of this outfit. It was not Margot's night. It was America's night. So why would Margot show up in a competing Barbie outfit? This was America's Barbie moment. So I really, really love actually that Margot did not give us this grand finale that people were expecting. The grand finale was this look.
Yes. When I got over the initial shock that it was not a Barbie reference, I was like, well, we have America. And that's really what we should be celebrating.
100%. I completely agree with you. So maybe that's our hot take of this episode, is that Margot Robbie.
She looked great too. She looked great, but she was there in a producer capacity. She was not there to be the star of the show. She was there to celebrate her work as a producer and elevate her movie and her cast.
And to be serenaded to by Ryan Gosling, which we will get to very shortly. Let's round out this list with two looks that really surprised me. And I don't know if these are going to be on other people's lists, but I really ate them up. Haley Steinfeld in this look. Thinking about this alongside Davine Joy Randolph, I picked these photos intentionally because I think that this train moment and this movement in material we saw across the board from lots of different looks in this kind of blue, teal, violet range of colors. This to me is one of the big trends coming out of the Oscars. Like teal is back, blue is back. This is going to be the look of the summer.
Yeah, a lot of blue, a lot of baby blue, a lot of like powdery teal. Yeah.
And the other piece of this outfit that was repeated, and I know some of this made its way to the Vanity Fair after party, is the shawl moment. And I know that Sydney Sweeney had one as well. Haley Steinfeld's got this gorgeous draped all the way down to the floor little shawl moment happening. And I'm very surprised that it's come back into the trend rotation. But honestly, LA's been cold lately. So I do not blame people for being like, can we throw a sleeve on this somehow?
Yeah, it's like an old Hollywood reference. And if you're going to make an old Hollywood reference, where else but the Oscars?
Exactly. One of my favorite things about this look is that the shawl came into those incredible wrist pieces that I wouldn't call them bracelets or clasps because they were like quite thick down her arm. I don't know how else you would have styled this dress. Like you couldn't pair jewelry with this on the neck, on the wrist. It would have taken away from that extraordinary bodice. So I thought it was a very tasteful way to style this dress. So good. And this was by styling by Rob Zangardi and Mariel Hahn. And it's an Elie Saab couture with Chopard jewelry. This is Canadian queen, Maitreyi Ramakrishnan, who you know from Netflix's Never Have I Ever. She was invited as one of the Academy invitees. They always invite young rising stars to attend. This is 2024 ready to wear collection from Zaher Murad, which I love a ready to wear look on the Oscars carpet. I think it worked so well. And I actually think this towed the very fine line of dressing your age and not trying to dress over or under your age or looking like, sometimes new stars go to these big events and they don't quite look like they have found their style or found their place yet. And I feel like this look is so confident and sure and fun and young and still on trend with the white and black kind of silhouette. I loved it.
Yeah, it's really solid.
I also love the hair because a lot of people I feel did like the straight down or like they had the hair down and she just went straight for like messy bun YA style, really cool curated. Like those beautifully curled pieces in the front. Yeah, I thought this was so good.
Yeah.
So that's my list. Oh, and the stylist for this was Wilford Lenov. So shout out to the sleigh from Canada on the red carpet. Do you want to take us through Vanity Fair?
Yeah. Okay. This came because I looked at Liz's list and I was like, yes, those are the best looks of the red carpet. What else do I have to say? I guess I can talk about the Vanity Fair after party looks because a lot of people change for the Vanity Fair party and people showed up. Arguably one of the people that showed up the most is Margot Robbie in archival Mugler. I don't have confirmation on who styled this. I would guess it was Andrew Mannix. She looks like an Oscar.
She does. Really.
It's so good. I do sort of wish that she had done something a little different with her hair.
Yeah,
she's going to a party.
For me
she's going to dance.
You know what? I think part of the reason why I love this outfit so much is because specifically of the carpeting color palette. If this was an all black or even like we've had those like peachy white kind of toned carpets, less from Vanity Fair, which is across award season, I feel like this look wouldn't work. But because you have those big gold letters behind her and you have the bold red, I feel like the look really pops in these photos and it's like helping it for me a little bit.
Yeah. It's a stunner, whether you like it or not. You can't not look at it.
Absolutely. The hair really throws it for me. I wish she had done something a little bit more like slicked back or just as bold as that bodice is. Like she's got a killer silhouette with the shawl again. Like I feel like the hair really takes me out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, archival
kind of unfortunate, but like, yeah, I mean,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Art.
Speaking of art, we have wearable art from Shurigawa. This bodice piece is from Cameron Hancock Studio. The trousers are Woo Young Mi and the jewelry is Tiffany. And I love a bold man. You're going to a party, you're gonna wear a chest plate. Thank you very much. I didn't even know Shooty was going to be at the Oscars. Then he showed up in the iconic I'm Just Ken performance. And I was like, oh my God, Shooty's there. And then he showed up at the after party and I was like, thank God Shooty's there. Someone is bringing the fashion.
Thank God, because he is another person that comes to these carpets and slays. Like he always is dependable. I do love what I think is a bit of the story here, which is you go to the carpet. He was in black on the red carpet going into the Oscars. So even similar to Coleman Domingo, right? You wear black on the Oscars red carpet. It is a nod to traditional Oscars attire. Then you go on stage and do I'm Just Ken, which is the most untraditional Oscars performance possibly ever. And you all of a sudden are in the front of the conversation leaving the show. So you show up to your next appearance wearing something so bold and like eye-catching. To me, that like story arc of subtle going in, bang coming out is incredible.
And speaking of Coleman, another star on the Vanity Fair red carpet. Stunning. This is the same styling team as the Oscars red carpet look. I mean, was it the Golden Globes when him and Hannah Waddingham presented and they were just like, you're welcome? Like, that's how I feel every time he steps on a red carpet. It's like, thank you very much.
Thank you so very much for everything you've given us, Coleman Domingo. Truly. This makes me want to cry. I love this jacket so much. It's unbelievable.
That is something that producer Liz would own.
Honestly, listen, I've got a coat problem, and Coleman Domingo, if I ever meet you, we will chat about it.
It's just so good. I mean, this is how you maintain conversation.
Yep.
This is how you keep your name relevant throughout the night. This is how you do it. Okay. A little bit less about how you do it, but just a pleasant surprise that he was there. Let's talk about Jonathan Bailey.
We were not going to get through this without talking about this man. I just need to reference the absolutely incredible photo that came from the night before the Oscars
I hate you so much
party, which truly shot me out of orbit and put me into another dimension. I could not believe what I woke up to on Sunday morning when this photo emerged. Hold on.
And don't you worry, Liz made sure that I also woke up to it.
This was the first thing I saw. That man had the time of his life. So funny. Like, look at those faces side by side. That is, yeah, hilarious. But, you know, he looked great as always.
Yeah, as always. And you know what? Sometimes a classic black suit is the safe choice. Yeah, you're not there. You're not there as a presenter. You're not there as a nominee. You're just there to be seen and go to a party. It's not about like he's just playing it safe. And sometimes that's the right choice.
It's also very like I love the tailoring on this. I think it's immaculate, and a lot of the suits this year you can't say the same for. Not to name names, but there's some folks that were on many carpets that had their tailors need to go back to tailoring school. They must.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Show us your last look.
All right.
Woe is me. Woe is me.
You can't outdo the doer. This is couture Simone Rocha for Gaultier, which is just like so cool on so many levels. I love the like bustle with the little like I don't really know what those are called. They're like feathers, but they're pearls.
We didn't see a lot of bustles this year.
No. A lot of like structured sort of more I guess tube dresses really. Yeah, not a lot of like shape to the skirts. I mean, there's Carey Mulligan had like a mermaid situation. And then Emma Stone had that
peplum.
Yeah. The ceremony look that Florence had was also incredible. But this is, this is, again, like, you go to this party to be seen, and she is making sure that she is seen.
Absolutely. I just also have to give a shout out to her makeup stylist. I think she's got one of the best makeup games in young Hollywood, not even just young Hollywood, in Hollywood right now. I think she shows up to every event looking so ethereal, glowy, smoky, just absolutely incredible artistry happening. So let's talk about our favorite moments from the ceremony that had nothing to do with the winners or the speeches. This Oscars was so full of Mimi moments and just goofs, and some things went really, really right and some things went really, really wrong, like the joke about RDJ off the top of the show. We're not going to talk about that, but we are going to say, what the fuck was that, Jimmy Kimmel? So Marissa, give us your first moment that really stood out to you.
Dr. Spielberg, is this true? Just Kate McKinnon and America Ferrera presenting together, winning duo, and Spielberg playing along. Just excellent. Just what awards season needs.
I love when a meme is born. I'm going to be saying that for the whole next year. Dr. Spielberg, is this true?
So good.
So good. I'm going to piggyback off of that to another intro. Alexis, fast forward 30 seconds because you're about to hate what I'm about to say. But John Mulaney absolutely demolished, wiped the floor with his intro, gave the audition of a lifetime to host everything for the rest of time. I'm thrilled for him that he did so well, and I hope that what it shows is the direction that comedians should take in these moments, because it was the opposite end of the spectrum from Jimmy Kimmel, and it played so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Another presenter moment that I loved was the Fall Guy Barbenheimer situation, with that little intro to an appreciation for stunt performers, which, thank you, but like, could have a category, but whatever.
I did laugh how they opened that with John Wick, because every time they talk about stunts, they talk about John Wick, but that movie has been severely underrated by all of the award season circuit since its inception.
Yeah. I mean, there were like, stunt performers have been here since the beginning of Hollywood. And it was like, great, maybe you should give them an award. But I loved the banter between Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling. That was really fun.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay. We are beat for beat here talking about movie promo, because John Cena coming up for best costume design in
So
the very tastefully designed Velcro envelope to the material he had around him to keep it safe to put on cable television. I thought the script was right. I think that is so hard to do in that room. Anyone who could hold your future in their hands is in that room, and you're going to commit to the bit and do it and just be in it, be so present and really pull it off. It, like, unbelievable. Very few people could have done that. So my round of applause to John Cena for that. Obviously, promo for Ricky Stenicki, which went straight to streaming, a movie that, you know, a lot of people are saying a decade ago, 2 decades ago would have been the movie of the summer in theaters, going straight to streaming and being buried. So worth checking out. Zac Efron's also in it. As well, a really interesting intro, because he said, like, costumes are essential, and the Costume Designers Guild is in negotiations right now. So really important timing to have a big, big moment around costuming at the Oscars.
Yeah, for sure. Hard pivot. Let's talk about Messy the dog. Stole the show. I hate to inform you that his applause was pre-recorded, but it worked all the same.
I actually have
a little prop pause clapping together. Everyone's gonna love it.
I have a complaint about this, which is, if it was pre-recorded, why didn't they cut to it more?
That's true.
I feel like they really could have gone 3 times and we all would have ate it up every time.
Yeah. I think we got 1, maybe 2.
I think they could have, like, come back to it, like, frequently, and it would have been very, very funny. But
Underused.
I will also kind of take a left turn to something that was planned for the worse, because this did not play well from production, from cueing the orchestra, the camera operators who were not ready, the nominees who thought they were going to be introduced and were not named, the Best Picture announcement, My Eyes See Oppenheimer. Going to be iconic for the next year. I know that there's podcasts that play previous Oscar Best Picture announcements in, like, their package. So we're going to be hearing My Eyes See Oppenheimer for the next year on loop. But also, like, so sad in terms of, like, the blame for that moment is to production and whoever designed that moment. It's not to what was like done on stage. That was a whole lot of bad choices that came into one moment.
Yeah. Emma Stone cannot win Best Actress because the Best Picture announcement is always gonna be whack.
Yeah, but a meme was born from it. So you know what?
For sure.
My Eyes See Oppenheimer.
For sure.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Back to you. I know we can spend another hour talking about what you're about to say next, so I'll just let you do this justice.
Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande presented Best Original Song to Billie Eilish and Phineas O'Connell. Thank you, Wicked X Barbie. One
Crossover.
supreme, hands off to the next. They also dropped like 5 different lyric references in their intro. It was a little heavy-handed, frankly.
A little heavy-handed.
They were also wearing pink and green. We get it. Wicked is coming. But I loved it. I appreciated it. I am ready for the winter of Wicked.
Something really special about seeing pop girlies on stage together at the Oscars. Like, if you had told me Ariana Grande was going to present Billie Eilish with an award, Oscars is not the ceremony I would pin for that, but worked really well.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to Godzilla next. Godzilla, their shoes were Godzilla claws, custom made. They're thinking about selling them, which is super cool. But when they won, they had the little like statuettes of Godzilla and the different characters in little tiny bow ties. And the man that was delivering the acceptance speech like passed off his dinosaur or passed off Godzilla to one of the other folks and then undid his speech. And I just think like Hold My Dinosaur is now in Oscars history. That is hysterical to me.
It was so good. Everything about it was so good.
So funny. So great. And like, this is where I have to be so like, I have to say it. Why the fuck would you cut off people accepting in a language that's not their first language when you can clearly tell that their speech has a beginning and an end? Like, don't kick them off stage. They wrote a speech. Like, you know that they're going to get to the bottom of that page and they're all going to leave the stage. Let them do their thing. And they were trying to give some space to honor their colleague who had passed away. So it's like, you're going to play off that. Disgraceful. I thought that was just absolutely horrendous.
And then they ended up running short. It was like, you did that for what? Because then you had Jimmy Kimmel just riffing for like 2 minutes at the end.
I hated it. Yep.
Not a fan.
All right. Our top moment. We had the same one on both of our lists. Marissa, kick us off.
I'm just kidding. So good. I honestly was a little nervous for it. I was like, oh, is this gonna like sour my love of Barbie? Is this gonna kind of like do the thing that Encanto We Don't Talk About Bruno thing did a few years ago, where it was just like, this is kind of cringe and I'm not, but no, they nailed it. It was incredible. I loved it so much. I felt joy. I felt so joyful. And then I got the surprise of all the other Kens. I didn't know any of them were going to be there. I was clapping in my little seat.
Tiny claps. Tiny claps.
Everybody tiny clap.
Little clap. That is a reference to Dropout. You should watch the Dropout Drop-In found on the Producer Liz YouTube channel. Anyway, yes. I will never, ever doubt Ryan Gosling, ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had more stage presence than most pop stars of any gender. Like, I think he did something that we have not seen from mainstream pop artists in a long time. I love that he, got to say nothing this entire award season and then did that performance and was like, this is my whole thing. I loved that he intentionally passed off the mic to Greta and America and Margot to sing like the lines, I'm enough, I'm doing my stuff, and then pass it to Emma Stone as well. I thought that was very tasteful and the right thing to do. Yeah. How many times have you watched it since Sunday?
At least 10.
I'm definitely at 20 minimum. Like, I'm about to screen record it for my camera roll so I can watch it on planes without Wi-Fi. I'm like, I'm there.
Everything about it, the production, the choreography, the music production, the camera shots, just a success all around in all departments.
I think that a bar has been raised that is never going to be met.
I don't think
this decade. I really don't know what could come in and do better than that.
Yeah.
Having the momentum of the Barbie movie behind that performance, like not just a great song, but that was like the perfect closing of this entire era of Barbie.
Yeah.
Can't ask for anything better.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about some of the wins and speeches that stood out to us. We'll rapid fire through some of these because if you've watched the Oscars, you know that these winners have happened and a lot of them are significant for lots of various reasons. So these are just some of the winners and some of the speeches that stood out to us. I'll kick it off with the zone of interest, which I think is one of the all-time great sound wins. Like that win is just, I think if Zone of Interest had not won that specific award, it would have been looked back on for the rest of the time as like, what were we thinking? What was the Academy thinking? So it was a little bit of a sigh of relief that they took that one for the history books. Obviously, the speech, Jonathan Glazer, was impeccable. It was scripted. The poor guy's hands were shaking the whole time. There's been a lot of discourse on it since, but it is the only speech that openly discussed and named Gaza, which was very significant to the night. I think it takes a lot of courage to get up on the stage and say anything political when you're also running through the adrenaline of winning an Academy Award. So major kudos to him for scripting it, getting through it, saying his piece. I think it was very tasteful and well done.
Mm-hmm. And those are the two awards for Zone of Interest, sound and international feature. And both so incredibly deserving. Just, what a film. I loved it. It's a lot, but I loved it. Okay. We got to move on or I'm just going to keep talking about Zone of Interest for like an hour.
Your pick next. What would you like to shout out?
Okay. Can we talk about Divine Joy Randolph sweeping all season?
She's one of few people who have managed to win every single award in the award season circuit. So she's in the history books for lots of reasons, including she literally dominated.
Incredible. And then gave a beautiful speech.
My favorite speech of the night. I love an emotional crying like situation. I think that was just so genuine from her. Goosebumps. I'll toss it to the last repair shop. Ben Proudfoot from Nova Scotia, hometown, now a 2-time Oscar winner. And as happy as I am for Ben for taking it home for the hometown, it's the young student that was on stage with them, that queen in the bright blue, which I do love that, like, Divine Joy Randolph won for Best Supporting Actress. And then this girl, her name is Portia Brinker, got to go on stage in the same color to also win. Like that blue really had a big moment on stage. I thought that was like just interesting to me. Like, oh my God, there's a trend between winners and the color they were wearing. So very neat to see that trend literally make it onto the Oscar stage. But she just stole my heart grinning on stage holding an Oscar. She's one of the young LA Unified School District students that's featured in the short film. So very cool that they brought her on to help accept that.
Yes. Just a little princess. Just a little princess. We also have to talk about A Song for My People from Killers of the Flower Moon. Such a powerful performance. I mean, you have an I'm Just Ken, but then you have something like that and you're like, wow, this is the power of music in movies.
And the power of that specific stage to have a broadcast of that to an international audience, unbelievable. I thought the staging was really special, the way they had that overhead camera, so you could see the depth of the drum to the drum circle to the singers to the dancers. Like I thought that was a very cool way to display all of it, and then interstitial the close-ups of the faces rather than having it all like facing one way or like I thought it was very intricate staging, very interesting.
Yeah.
And I loved Lily's tweet about this. If you haven't seen Lily Gladstone, she tweeted yesterday, when watching the Osage singers at the Oscars, my inner voice said, they're the ones bringing us all up on stage tonight. That's how it should be. The history in the film and of the moment rightfully belonged to the Osage Nation. What an honor to be close enough to feel the drum, with a little, you know, the heart emoji that's on fire. Yeah, that's how she ended it. Come on. Incredible. I'm going to quickly shout out the first Oscar for Ukraine for 20 Days in Mariupol. I think that's how you say that, but if not, my apologies. And the director of that saying, I wish to be able to exchange this, meaning the Oscar, for Russia never attacking Ukraine, never occupying our cities. I think he said it himself, like how many people have gone on stage and said they wish they never had to shoot the film that won the Academy Award. Like that was like a you could hear a pin drop in the room. You could hear hearts sinking in that moment. Absolutely, like an impeccably designed speech for that moment.
And of course, a historic win from Billie Eilish and Phineas O'Connell for What Was I Made For Barbie for original song. The youngest two-time Oscar winner for Billie Eilish, the first woman to win a Triple Crown for film twice, and the only artist this century to win Song of the Year and Best Original Song in the same year.
She's 22 years old.
We're basically dead, Liz. We gotta go.
We gotta go. We gotta wrap it up. A lot of people are saying that, like, after seeing the performances, Ken should have won. But I think when you actually look at the Barbie movie, What Was I Made For is an all-time great song designed for a movie. It's not just an original song as Oscars bait. It's not, you know what it really takes me back to is some of the 90s Disney wins and nominations for Best Original Song. And, you know, I think about 90s Disney music as that music was so intentionally designed for those films and really like interwoven into story. And somewhere along the way, I find sometimes there's nominations that I'm like, to me, that song it didn't add to the plot. It was in the end credit, like all good things, just different use of original song and movie. And Billy and Phineas designed something so integral to the entire essence of Barbie that it's like, how do you not recognize that?
Yeah. And not only did they write the song that defined the movie, Mark Ronson then took the instrumental for the song and interpolated it into the score of the film, so that theme ran throughout the entire film. Like that is like you start crying when you see those like memories of Gloria because of that song, because of that little piano line. Like the song is the movie. Like much love to I'm Just Ken. That's a piece of theater. This is the movie.
Well said. It cannot be better said than that. So I think that's where we just need to wrap. We're going to end on a high note. We're going to wrap the conversation. There's so much Oscars to talk about. I'm excited to text you and keep the conversation going. Let us know in the comments the moments that stood out to you, what you think of our picks, and the things that stood out to us will be in the comments with you. And we'll be back soon later this month with some more watch-alongs, some more recaps and reactions. Marissa, do you want to share some of what's coming up on the channel?
Yes, Thirsty Thursdays is coming to We'll Throw the After Party on Thursday night, the 14th. I'm not sure exactly what time that will be at. That's a Sly and JJ decision. I think it's going to be late at night because they're excited to talk about the 911 premiere on ABC. And then the next night, we will be live with an after party for the Eras Tour on Disney+. That will be at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific.
I will not be joining for that one, but I will try to be in the comments with everyone because I'm so excited for you guys. You're going to have so much fun. I'll be sending the friendship bracelet vibes from my trip. Marissa, I love doing these Oscar recaps with you every year. This is like 3 years now going, and it's just every year we get more and more into it and more excited to do this. So another year in the books. We'll see you for 2025 Oscars, and we'll see you next time on We'll Throw the After Party. Bye.
Bye.